Hey YouTube, how you all going? Just got another video for you today on compression gear, skins in particular. Obviously there are other brands out there, but I did find these skins compression gear very good, to be honest. It's designed for people who are skiing and snowboarding. It's their kind of skiing, I can't remember the number of it, but it's, yeah. If you look it up on the net and on their website, you'll see that they do have a range specifically for winter sports. So the main difference is you're probably not going to be able to see that, but there's like a fleecy lining on the inside while still being a compression type garment. So obviously got a bit of stretch in there, but quite tight fitting. Now I had this both in a top and long pants. On top of that, I also had a kind of very similar type of material that was used for diving, so kind of like a long sleeve diving top as well, that I found great. Now when I was going into Tough Mudder, my plan was to wear this under my wetsuit if it got very cold during the middle of the night, which is what I did. So I think I changed into my thicker wetsuit for the start of lap 3, and in doing so I did put on this compression gear underneath. Now I can't say with 100% certainty, you know, that this is going to keep you that much warmer if you have it with your wetsuit, or if it was merely the wetsuit doing most of the kind of warmth side of things. But I did find my, upper body, lower body and everything like that was completely fine in terms of warmth and comfort. It was mainly the hands and the feet, as I've spoken about numerous times before, that really suffer the effects of the cold. The other benefit I found from wearing compression gear, because later in the, earlier in the day, for example, where I just wore the wetsuit, you had to be really mindful of putting, some anti-chafing cream under your arms and that kind of thing. I found that wearing some compression gear just provided that extra break between the neoprene and your skin, and I definitely think it helped in that regard as well. Now, as I said, perfectly fine in terms of warmth across the body, and that it was just the hands and the feet. The other benefit I found of compression gear, and I wish I'd had a second set of this, was that after lap 4 I took a break in my tent where I took off my wetsuit. Now I put my wetsuit in a bag. It's very important that you do that. You've got to put it in a bag because it'll keep it wet, but it will be warm-ish. Whereas if you take it out of the bag and just like chuck it on the floor of your tent, it will get cold and it will start to freeze. I left, for example, my race bib out, still inside the tent, but out of a bag, and when I came to put it back on in the morning, it was like rock solid almost. It was like frozen. You could crunch it. It had little ice crystals all over it. So I would hate to have seen what would happen with my wetsuit. My wetsuit, on the other hand, was in a bag, kept it wet, but it was warm and it wasn't freezing. But I wish I'd had another set of compression gear, the thicker one, because you would then be able to put dry compression gear on first, and then pull your wet wetsuit over you, so at least you're not getting that kind of wet wetsuit directly on your skin that's going to make you cold instantly. Unfortunately, I didn't have that, but I did happen to have a second pair of compression pants that were designed for, just running, in normal weather. And they were very thin, obviously, but I put those on first, so at least my legs didn't feel like they were going into freezing cold wetsuit. And I had a short sleeve compression top, so same thing, which helped a bit, but it would have been really nice to put on some dry compression stuff. So I think that's probably a good strategy if you're someone who thinks you're going to take a break or need to take your wetsuit off for some period of time. Having some compression gear that's dry, you can put that on first, and then the wet wetsuit on over top. It's not going to keep you dry forever, but it feels a lot better, bit of a morale boost, and it's going to keep you that a little bit warmer, that little bit longer. And with hypothermia being one of the main things that takes people out of the game, anything that you can do to keep you going is definitely going to help. So that's my kind of thoughts on compression gear. I definitely feel it has a place in World's Toughest Mudder. It can't, though, in my opinion, be used by itself. You need to wear a wetsuit. If you're not wearing a wetsuit, your chances of lasting the full 24 hours are going to be significantly diminished, if not impossible. So that's just kind of my thoughts on it, guys. If you have any questions, comment below. Let us know what you're thinking, and look forward to seeing you in the next video.